Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Success is for Losers. In an earlier episode, I explained the virtues of letting people know subtly that you've experienced some tragedies. Then you stay mum about it for a while, just to build up a frenzied interest in your suffering, which of course would result in an expanded audience for your internet show. Problem was, only 22 people watched that episode, and apparently among those 22 there was not a single gossip monger. But as I promised to 22 of you, or fewer if there were repeat views, some people click on the videos accidentally. So I don't know if it's even 22 people, but I did promise people in that episode that I would discuss on the internet the suffering. My wife nearly died this year of complications from an ectopic pregnancy. That's when the baby finds her way into a fallopian tube, which is not an environment where she can survive. The tube burst. Massive internal bleeding. If we lived farther away from the hospital, I might have been made a widower and my daughters might have lost their money. But the doctor operated on her and she got back to full speed and I impregnated her again. But just learned a couple days ago that this baby won't survive either. The doctor suspects that it is not an ectopic pregnancy. We really don't know yet, so we're in a weird position of rooting for a miscarriage, which would be less of a health risk to my wife. So this episode, is it inappropriately intimate for the internet? I don't know. I used to be a very private person until I started making the show, actually. So I'm not used to thinking about whether I've crossed that particular line. And what is too intimate for the internet anyway? The internet is essentially swinging genitalia, moderately talented kittens, teenagers debauching themselves, and angry people who have strong opinions on at least one of those topics. So I don't know where that puts me. Is it okay not to be funny or even entertaining on the internet? Well, for an answer to that, I'll refer you to the internet. But vulnerability, that's a tricky thing. You can be all swinging genitals and no vulnerability. You don't want to be bothered with someone else's problems, and you don't want to bother people with your own problems. At the same time, this is a self-improvement project. I want you to know what I got to work with here. Not in the genitalia department, we'll leave that to your imagination. Male, though. Male genitalia. When I'm in a melancholy mood and I'm reflecting on recent and current suffering, I sometimes like to read comments people have left on YouTube about my episodes. It's nice when people write comments because it helps get your show noticed. For example, let's look up the latest comment. Ya stinkers. Lame as Detroit. Eat a Polish sausage. Stinker. Get ya grown effeminate butt. Life. We're talking about vulnerability here. Illiterates tend to feel such shame about their lack of education. So basically, they just never come out of the closet, so to speak. Secondly, the way I read it, this commentator's idea of getting a life is to eat a Polish sausage. Not every gay illiterate would be so bold that he rated the episode 1 star specifically because of the complete absence of fellatio. The desperation is palpable. He's going to Detroit in a bucket, and he's not enjoying the ride. How can you enjoy the ride? You're going to Detroit in a bucket. And yet he chose to reveal all of this. So in a sense, he is my hero. Thank you, letter A7211991, for your courageous comments. Though I am sorry you are going to hell, Detroit, please take some consolation in the fact that you have inspired 22 people.